in those eras, you know what I mean? Like, for somebody in that same era, like, I know Sean Leon has come up and has done some great things right now, but I'm saying he should have been had his flowers, you know what I mean? It took too long for talent like that to get discovered, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know this, but I seen Daniel Caesar with Sean Leon first before I seen Daniel Caesar anywhere else, you know what I'm saying? So that just speaks to the taste making of that whole collective at the time. I think it was IXXI.
Yeah.
They had going. That was like such a huge inspiration for me growing up. And even when you brought up Come Down and those guys, that era, in my opinion, because it was, the way I saw it, it was like Come Down. It was IXXI. It was Get Home Safe with Derek Wise and those guys. And then The Weeknd ended up digging a bit further into that and putting on those guys as well with 88 Glam with, at the time, 88 Camino.
Yeah.
Was in that too and all that. And to me, I consider that like the golden era, one of the golden eras within Toronto hip hop. It was like a renaissance almost. So that's what I'm trying to inspire now. That's the name on Jazz Cartier. How could I shout out Jazz. How could I ever forget your name, bro? Like
what's his face?
What's up?
Virgil literally used to pull up to the loft and like have parties with them and shit.
See what I'm saying? No, but they remember how they had the parties like on, oh my God. Crazy. Dog, it's giving me goosebumps now even talking about it, bro, because that renaissance, it felt so good to be in the city and be a part of music at that time. So I want to be a part of that wave, and I want to help all my collaborators, whether it's Rapstars, whether it's Top 6, whether it's all these other people I'm working with, bring back that feeling and because I do feel like we're on another wave now, and I think 2026 especially is the time to do that and execute on that. So
true. Yeah, and like I definitely see it like right there with like a lot of like the young rags too. Even like I do like think about it like sometimes too, like even like on how like some labels like tend to like look for like someone to like sign or someone to like, you know, work, you know.
Exactly.
Like a lot of it has to do like also with age as well too, and you know, sometimes too they see more value in a younger artist than like, let's say a Supreme Swiss or like, let's say like a Solo YS too, because I mean Supreme Swiss, I guess he's in his 30s and all that too, but the music, it's a little bit more refined than what we're seeing like right now and all that too. And like, you know, like sometimes too, like labels, they just only see like, all right, how can we kind of grab someone and like, you know,
can I give a hot take on that though?
Yeah,
I think that's corny. I think if you're saying that hip hop is only for the younger generation now and the younger generation dictates things now in these times in 2026 moving forward, I think it's corny, because now we have a whole subsection of hip hop lovers that were once young moving into the 30s and moving into that middle age area who are still passionate and care about hip hop. So I think that opens up to new possibilities and a whole new audience in terms of hip hop and maturity and what you're saying, the sounds you're choosing, and all that stuff. So I think there's a market opening up in that too. So people like the Supreme Swisses, people like the older artists that are out. Not to say, my bad, bro, I don't mean to age you or nothing like that. You're still young, don't worry about it. But I'm saying, it's still doable even in those ages. You get what I mean? But I just think you got to pay attention to how you're evolving as an artist now, because people are actually listening to what you're saying in those age groups, which I think is good for the scene.
Yeah. And I mean, in the US, like it has like worked with like the Killer Mikes and like Larry Jones, like things like that too. I think with Canada, because like it's like a little bit like more outdated too, like sometimes too, it have to like progress in there too. And you know, like the average like Canadian listener, like, you know, isn't like really like listening to hip hop or R&B as much too, but I think it's like starting to change from there.
It's all with how it's being seen, if you get what I mean. Like it's how it's being displayed, and I feel like that's part of the value that I bring along with my collaborators, is that we package it in a way where it is palatable to the audiences who aren't really familiar with hip hop. So when they see these visuals, when they see us covering it so much and talking so passionately on it, they start to be like, all right, what's happening over here? And then that could be the gateway into, all right, yo, this is my favorite. Because I want, at the end of the day, yes, the US is going to always be on top with hip hop and stuff like that. But I also want to let, especially people in Toronto, because Toronto isn't always that city that champions their own artists. I want people in Toronto to be passionate about Toronto artists. And I want some of the people most of the people in Toronto, when they talk about their favorite artist, it's somebody from the city that they're within arm's reach from. Like, imagine that feeling that you're looking up, like, let's use Swiss again as, well, Supreme now. So, but let's use Supreme as an example. Like, you see him all over the place. You see all these wicked videos, all this good music he's putting out and everything like that. But then you see him, like, maybe he's at the store just chilling with his boys or something like that, eating. I want you to fan out. I want you to be like, yo, I want to take a picture with Supreme and da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? With local artists. So I'm trying to bring that feeling back to the city and really build up the city in a way where we could be proud of our own shit too, you know?
Yeah, no beat, man. No, that's facts. Oh shoot.
Okay, sick.
All right. All right, man. I guess I'll do like the intro for a bit too. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning into another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on platforms Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more and all that too. Got nothing to say like as much right now on Patreon, but like, you know, the drill like on that sense too. But I want to get it like started right here, you know. So this young visionary started off within dance, within music, and has transitioned into the Toronto music scene as like one of the brightest and one of the most like viral like videographers in the city for the Rapstars Freestyle series, through the Ammaar Show and all that, which had like a lot of viral videos and all that too. Friggin' Julius X and all that too. Double M.
Shout out.
Crooks. Friggin' Binks.
It is. Shout out Binks.
Koofy's World, Low Key,
Yeah,
Supreme Supreme and all that too.
Wow.
Has been making like a lot of like major waves and all that too. You know, has like big co-signs from Toronto Rapstars with Supreme and much more too. I don't think we even need like a crazy introduction. So we have the Ammaar O.D in the building. You know, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good, yo. How's everybody doing out there? Shout out to all my peoples. You know what I'm saying? He listed them off. You know what I mean? Big up to everyone in the city.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're kind of like the MVP right now. I mean, you've been making major waves. You've been making like major waves since like last year too. Like, you know, even seeing the content too, because like I've been seeing like the content on like my reels on YouTube and all that too. Like I was like watching like YouTube just earlier as we like talked about it too, and like I'm just seeing like how like these like videos are like very crisp, like very like organized, and I mean you've been putting in work too. You know, like you're working with like a lot of these like people that have like this ground into making Toronto like within the best like within like music and all that too, and like I'm not even gonna front you, like I know like at the Players like Ball Award too, like when they did like the whole like videographer like of the year thing, like I would have thought like you would have like won and all that too, because I think
thank you, yo, that means a lot. Thank you, Risky.
Yeah, because I think like, you know, your work ethic and like your drive, it's been evident like with the videos and all that too, but not to talk down on like the other videographers too, but you know,
to everybody. I was proud to even be on that list. You know what I mean? Shout out Fatty, shout out DMTV, shout out all the other guys. Like everybody, I think Toronto has great videographers, and for me to even have my name on that group with everybody means a lot. You know?
Yeah, 100p, man. And I mean, even recently too, like I know like we'll probably like into the story for a bit too, but I know there was like a situation, I think there was like a post on IG where in like We Love Hip Hop and all that too, like they were like discussing on like how like the Toronto music scene like might be dead and all that too, and then I think it like led to a discussion from Supreme where like, you know, like they were like kind of like a little bit like ignorant on like the whole situation, because like I think in Supreme's like viewpoint, like there is like a lot of music like coming out too, and like it led to like a lot of banter from Supreme and like Zara and all that too. So I don't know if you want to like give your thoughts on that.
So that's the DJ conversation, right? So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I wanted to speak on that as well. So I think Supreme has, from my understanding, because I'm hearing it secondhand. I never seen the actual post. I just heard it in discussion behind the scenes, and from what I got on it was like, I think the We Love Hip Hop podcast was saying that the reasons why DJs don't really spin Toronto music like that is because none of it's popping. And Supreme, we call him Swiss, that's his former name, but Supreme was bringing up how it's the DJ's job to get the music popping. You know what I'm saying? So it's two sides, I feel like, talking about the same coin. So, but I do align more with what Supreme was saying, and I think it is facts, because even back in the day, what you would try, and even in Atlanta, they do this a lot too, where they get their records to the DJs first to start spinning it in the clubs and start kind of starting that momentum or garnering that momentum, so the music can catch the plays, and then it starts spinning on its own once it catches its legs. You know what I mean? So that's why I agree with Supreme in that, and I do think he was right in that situation, and that's something that's got to change in the culture now. I wish we could kind of track it back to like a nucleus when that mindset changed towards, I got to start playing the poppin' music instead of me being like, let me be the first to put this artist on. Because that's how I think, even when I'm doing these videos for new artists, I'm trying to find like dope new artists and all that stuff, and I just take pride in like, yo, I found this guy, I got behind him and all that stuff. I was able to see the talent when nobody else was there and all that stuff, and I got to help be a part of his story. You know, so I think we need to bring that back to the culture, especially in our city. So shout out Supreme. Don't worry, bro. Like, keep advocating out here because you're right in what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't say like much more on that and all that too. But I mean, in an idea, I do feel like there are like a lot of platforms that are like actually like helping out to Flow 98.7. Like I've noticed they've put like a lot more like newer acts, like within like the rotation and all that too. Yeah. Whether it's through like Booth, whether it's through I think 143 and all that. Whether it's like for the R&B side too. Like they're still doing it in the hip hop side too, but not as much as like what I thought. And like hopefully like that improves like over time and all that. Even for myself too, like I feel like when you like notice it at the right moment, like you just put people on and all that. Even like one example is like the whole like Unsighted situation where he did that whole viral like freestyle and all that too.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
like,
Unsighted
it became like
his hustle is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Unsighted.
Yeah, man, that was like an accidental type thing. Like even when that moment hit, because like initially I would have thought like it would have like hit like back in like 2023 like those times. Yeah, it didn't hit until like 2025, and then. Now he's like a household icon, like even within the idea of music and even with virality and all that too. And like, you just have to be open minded, like in that sense too.
No, definitely. So, not to say that nobody else is doing that. I find it's more recently everybody's starting to get on the same page, which I love because I feel like collaboration is that missing key that we were all feel like we're all doing the same things. It's just now coming together and organizing it so it becomes like almost a circuit that artists can come in the scene on. And when they're ready to drop an album or do a release, they could come get an interview over here. They could tap in with Rapstars. They could come tap in with me. Then they could go to the radio and did it. You know what I mean? Like you see how that builds an organized circuit so you could get your music out there and get the Toronto music out to the world. I feel like that needs to be organized a bit better. And I feel like we're on our way to doing that, So I'm happy to see that too. So big up to everybody doing that thing.
Facto, man. Like I want to start off with your story right here. So you grew up in Scarborough and Pickering, correct?
Yep.
So what were like the environments like for you growing up as a kid at that time too? Like which ends like would you say like in Scarborough and like Pickering you grew up at?
So in Pickering, I went to a high school called Pine Ridge, and that's where kind of like that's when I was more into like sports and all that. That was one of the hoop dreams, you know what I mean? I feel like everybody had hoop dreams when they were younger, but once I found out I was 5'7" for the rest of my life, those ended, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Pickering was more like the hoop dreams and all that. It was when I moved back to Scarborough because I started off in Scarborough, moved to Pickering, and that's where like elementary school and half of high school is made. And then midway through high school, I moved to Scarborough and big up Pope. Went down there, and that's when I really started tapping into that creative bag because at that point, I think America's Best Dance Crew came out and had the city on a wave, you know what I mean? So I remember when I went to high school, just ended up tapping with more creative people over there, and then that's when the whole creative journey started.
All right, facts, man. And like I know, like growing up in Scarborough and like Pickering, like music was like played all over and all that. Whether it's through the old school, the new school, and all that too. Exactly. I mean, Daniel's from there, Cardi's from there, Maestro. I think Mishy's from Scarbs and all that too. Chaclair. Exactly. So like the Freedom Frenches, the Bugs, and all that too. So how like was that music like played like within that area? Was it like big around that time, like growing up for you, like when like within music?
Well, not really. The local names was big, I gotta be honest, but to be honest, when I was in Pickering especially, I was like obsessed with like Lil Wayne, those guys like coming up, like the whole I Can't Feel My Face era, like obsessed with those mixtapes. When I moved to Scarborough, again, it wasn't much, obviously the Drakes and all that stuff, but that's when I started experiencing the whole like I said, the golden age. That's when we started moving into the whole come downs, the get home safes, and then that's when I really started tapping in because I remember that was when I found out about like Sean Leon, and I think he was from like Ajax, those times and all that. And I'm like, yo, guys are making this type of music at my ends. Like, I had to get behind it. So, yeah, I was just bumping that stuff a lot. And then that's when, like, obviously, I guess we're going to talk about this at some point, but the dance moved into the music. And that was a big inspiration of that change into music, to be honest.
True. Yeah, I mean, Camino was actually from Pickering as well, too. I think he went to Pine Ridge, and then
funny story. Actually, I went to school with him. Yeah. At Pine Ridge. So yeah.
And then I mean, I think Macadelic's like also from Pine Ridge too, like in Pigs and all that too.
Yo, big up Mac. Yo, how did I forget that? Yeah, me and Mac were at Pine Ridge together as well. So
true. And I mean, Devontae, I think like from Whitby. Keisha,
I remember Devontae coming up too.
Yeah. So. Keisha, I think from Ajax as well too. Yeah, man, like a shitload of people too, and I think even like T minus, and I think
I heard about T minus. Yeah, Boy Wonder too, Pickering High. I think he went to Okay, yeah, big up everybody. Now it's starting to really come together, bro.
Yeah, man. A lot of interesting like names too. By the way, I think TLOY for reference. I think from Ajax or Pickering, but I don't even know.
Yeah, the vlogger, right? Yeah. She was from Ajax, I think.
Yeah,
if I'm correct.
True.
A lot of talent coming from that side too. Jeez, man, you're taking me down the memory lane, bro.
For sure, bro. So from birth until like now, like what was like your childhood like and all that too. Like like what was like Ammaar like even from that cradle to becoming a man and all that. No.
To be honest, I've always been like ambitious. I'm not gonna lie. Once I have a goal, I work hard till I get it. So like coming up, I remember it as far back as making like my first basketball team in grade 4. I remember who pushed me. I think it was my dad or something who pushed me into trying out for the team, and that was the first time in my collective memory that I remember even playing basketball was at the tryouts. And I ended up making the team, and then after that, I just fell in love with it. And every day you could ask. Big up Julius X, we used to live on the same street. You could ask him. Like, I always used to be out on my driveway. I used to do 100 shots a day. And then, ended up becoming one of the better ballers in my school. And just kept that kind of ambition going into whatever I did. So after the basketball, it was the dance.
All right.
Brought that with the team. Shout out projects, you know what I mean? And we were just practicing all the time, practicing till the sun up. And we started winning competitions. Brought that same mentality into music. And videography, and here we are. So
sure, man. And I mean, with the breakdancing and like videography and music, like that was like more from like seeing it on TV, like just like listening to like the Mandem, like in school and all that, and like, just like a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. So I remember seeing America's Best Dance Crew, and I got like hooked onto that show, and I thought it was so dope. And then I remember when I went to Pine Ridge, they had like dance hall teams. That was like the first version of the dance stuff. No, actually, what am I saying? Back in grade 4 too, they had a dance club, and my sister was in it. And then my sister told me go into the dance stuff, and that was my first recollection of being in dance while I was doing the basketball stuff, and then obviously talent shows. But it was in high school where I started seeing the dance hall teams. Really started getting inspired by it because when I moved to Scarborough, they had a predominant dance hall team at Pope John Paul. Shout out Pope. And then I was like, why don't we do our own version? Like, I don't do really dancehall dances like that. So we went into, it's not really break dancing, but more like popping and that type of stuff. So popping, locking, like choreography, that type of stuff is where I really excelled at. So
all right, true. Yeah. Like I know like there were like a lot of people like even like back in the day too that like got into their whole stuff with like breakdancing too. I don't know if you know like Alfonso like Ribeiro. He actually was like a breakdancer before he got into the whole like Fresh Prince like situation. Like I remember he was like doing like
I think I seen is there a clip of him dancing? Like really getting into it?
Like he was like dancing, I think, with Michael Jackson, and then he had a commercial where he was like doing like this whole, he was like promoting a product. I think it was like a spin table, like how to dance, like all that type of stuff too. And like he was like bringing it into like simple like steps and all that too. And like I remember like like the relation like was like very young, very refreshing and all that too. Exactly. And like
I am a firm believer in like stuff like dancing and the creative arts. They do keep you young, you know what I mean? So even now I'm still tapped in somewhat with the scene. Like I have a studio I used to work at and teach choreography. I still go there. Shout out Fresh Factory. But I still go there, still visit the kids, still help out where I can, you know what I mean? And I'll even help them with videography too now that I can. I try and bring value in any type of way. And then if I hear a battle going on, I'll go down, I'll take a look, I'll try and attend because I love that environment, you know? It's very like, have you ever been to a dance battle?
Dance battles, I mean, I've seen it like on YouTube for the most part too, but like the only like recollection of like like the whole like dancing situation, it was like like high school dance, middle school dances and all that too. And like
let me put you on, bro. Back in the day there used to be a crew called Moonrunners, and they used to always hold like these battles, and they had a big battle tournament they used to do called Area 51, and it used to be down by what's that club downtown by the lakeshore?
Government?
No, it changed names.
It was like Rebel, and then I think
it's that one. Is it that one? I think it's that one.
Yeah, because there's Government, there's Rebel. I mean, there was like a club I think on Richmond and all that too. Like I can't like recollect and all that too.
But like they had some type of like they do like a big battle. They used to do it annually. It's called Area 51, and we used to pack like they used to pack out the place. Like the environment, you see how when you used to watch Step Up, exactly like that. Man are going crazy. People are like, you have to be there. If you ever hear of a dance battle, I want to bring that scene back to you because it's such a fun time. If you ever hear of one, like go to it, man. I definitely recommend it.
For sure, man. Have you like witnessed like, also like the jerk era, like like the early 2010s, like 2012s and all that too? Like one of my homies like back in the day too, like was like in a movement called like Happy Feet and all that too. So like
I think I did hear that.
There's Carlos, who's like my homie and all that too. Like his guy, I interviewed him as well too. I think he's Sheldon, but he goes by like Tune and all that, and then. Fro Castle, who like ran Six Donuts, like they used to be in that crew and all that too, and like I actually had them on the pod like some years back and all that too. But I remembered like how their wave was like crazy back in the day too. Claremont the second actually used to like dance at back in the day too.
Sick.
Like went to church with him like growing up, just connected. Like I knew like his also like brother too. Yeah. Like I remember like early in the day like he was like doing like a lot of dances and all that too, and then start rapping until like 2014 with like the Flame Princess like project and all that too. But yeah, 2010 to like 2013, like that era, like within dance, like that was like crazy.
Just the scene in general, like there was just something always going on. It was just so. If you're growing up and you were like a youth in that time, like you had so many things to do or get involved in. Like I remember going to the competition, even the jerk guys you were saying. I remember I don't know if it was them specifically, but I remember there was a specific like trendy dance group that ended up popping off, and they had a huge fan base. I remember I'm not gonna lie, they didn't do very well. I'm not sure if it was Happy Feet, it might have been another crew. Yeah, they didn't really do well with the competition side of things, but in terms of like the commercial side of things, killing it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
man. This other guy, Just John, that we talked about, he was also in Happy Feet as well, like at the time too, and like his brother like was also in it too. So like I was like seeing their videos like all over on YouTube too, and like they were doing things and all that too.
Like they were making moves, like for real, man. These guys were doing their thing. So like definitely that's on YouTube and all that stuff too. I'm pretty sure you guys could go back on YouTube and find all this stuff, so
facts, man. As far as like like immersing into it like on your own and all that too, like what was that like vibe like, like meeting with like a lot of like-minded people like in the dance community, like even like within breakdancing too?
It was amazing. Like to be honest, I'm not the best. I suck at breakdancing. So it's not breakdancing really, it's more popping, it's more choreography based stuff I do. But in terms of the scene and meeting up with like minds, the scene was like a collaboration of everybody. So we used to roll in things called crews, and my crew used to go in competitions, and our first encounter was something called like Toronto's Best High School Dance Crew, and that's where we made like our start, because we were only 4 guys. They had a minimum of 5 guys, but they ended up sliding us in there just to be nice to us, and we ended up winning the whole thing. And that video caught like hundreds of thousands of views once it was put on YouTube. And then from that, we just went on a run of just winning competitions, and any competition we'd hear of, we'd try and go to it and do our thing. And that's where we started meeting like minds and other crews who liked what we were doing. And it was just the camaraderie in that time and just everybody knowing each other. And it's like, all right, we got this competition. Who's in that competition? Who do we got to worry about? And then I'll go do like my background research and be like, there's a strategy to it, because it's like, all right, they seem like a cleaner crew, so we're going to have to hit them with these type of like illusions and these type of effects and all that stuff. If these guys do backflips and all that stuff, I noticed their choreography isn't as tight. All right, so then we're gonna have to come and really practice and get them on the cleanliness of the choreography and the intricacies. And you see how my mind works, like, you know what I'm saying? I really go in and do my research, and that's how it worked out, because like we were winning. So big up to everybody in that time, whoever I came across, y'all. Like I still think about it, so it was like big memories for me.
Yeah, that's facts, but it's very like interesting in a way too. Like I was like thinking about it too, because I remembered how like within like breakdance like communities like back in the day too, like it used to get like very like physical like back in the day too. Like there was like a lot of like tension. Serious, like I know like in LA and New York at those like times too, like people like niggas were like literally like shooting and fighting each other like over a situation like that too. Like when they see like one crew versus like another, like it gets like that too. Like some were like actually
sometimes like the gang politics would leak into it, but like I'm telling you, if you went like some of the battles that not necessarily their main battle, but Moonrunners would do battles every now and then at a certain dance studio, and we used to pack the place out. I'm talking people sitting on the floors, people sitting on the steps, people standing up on the steps because they couldn't fit and get closer and all that stuff. And these battles used to go on, and like people would be shutting it down. Like you'd see no names come in and just kill it. And then what they used to do too was, say if somebody was killing it in another country online, they used to like get them to come to the battles in Toronto, and then they'd be the selling point, so everybody go to watch them. But then they'd run them through the tournament, so they have to prove their worth as well, if you get what I mean. Yeah. It was so sick. It was so sick, man.
Yeah. I mean, it led to like a lot of people like even like being like bigger at that time too, and like There's a lot to explain, but I think I want to hold it on for like another day too. But
Oh, raise, yeah, definitely.
As far as like the videography and all that too. How did that like come about? You know, like
So the videography, so it came about in the dancing time because I remember when we were like when YouTube was, once we realized, okay, like we're doing pretty good on YouTube, we started figuring out the video stuff. And then it came about like, yo, how are we going to film these videos, you know? So I was looking into it. I ended up going to, not film school, but I went to Centennial, did their film course, introduction and all that stuff. Ended up getting my own camera. And there's this YouTube page called Yak Films. Definitely check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. But they go all over the world covering like the best dancers from different regions. So it'd be like they'd cover the best dancers from like China and Japan. And they go to US, Bay Area, they like to cover a lot as well. You know, they twins?
yeah.
Like that was the first time I seen them on Yak Films. They have this famous like video where they're in like a rug shop and they go back and forth. That was the first video I saw of them, and you know who Lay Twins is now. They're huge dancers. Some of the biggest in the scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was that inspired me. And then I wanted to actually, you see what I'm doing now with music? Back then I wanted to do the same thing with dancers and like cover like my favorite dancers in the scene. So it's kind of crazy how everything comes full circle a little bit. So that's how it went.
And like the gear, like was it like mainly like Nikon, Sony, like Canon?
I was Canon. I was Canon heavy all the way up until now. I went to Sony. So sorry guys, but yo, I'm sorry. Like Sony, for me personally, for my workflow, it was day and night. The moment I made the switch, crazy.
Yeah.
Everything started working out for me. So
Yeah, for sure. Yo, I like started off like with Canon, and then I got like a Panasonic like Lumix like G like 7 and all that too, and like
Hey.
it still does like some good videos here and there too, like you know like good crisp like film and all that. I gave it to my cousin like a while back too because I don't really do like a lot of like videography like anymore and all that, but I still do some work with the Canon, but I do want to get like a Sony camera someday and all that. Like I know
highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So the thing with Sony is that their low light capabilities. That's especially if you're a videographer who's running gun or you don't know the situation you're coming into. Like that capability of getting that low light or being able to get high quality footage in that low light is crucial. So that's why I made this switch, because the other brands aren't as good as that at that. So.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like it was like predicted, I think like in 2018, 2019 that like Sony was like doing good tech thing and all that. Some people still hold on to Canon and like Nikon, like for photos and all that too, but it's not as like refined as it like was like back in like the earlier days and all that too.
But to be honest, at the end of the day, don't feel pressured like you have to do Sony or you have to do Canon. Like it's whatever you like. To be honest, they're gonna have their pros, they're gonna have their cons. It's whatever you're passionate, whatever camera you're passionate about, and you're willing to overcome their setbacks, if you get what I mean. Because like if you want to be more of a hybrid, like photography and video guy, get a Canon. I'd recommend a Canon because their colors are amazing and they're a bit more expensive on the lens setup. That's another thing about Sony. Their lens setup is very vast, so you have a lot of options. But with Canon, if you want to retain that color quality and all that, and you want to be able to take photos and videos, great. For me, because I'm focusing more on videos, I do more Sony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I actually want to get your take on this too. So like, there's like this like, you know, VHS like type of camera like that a lot of people are like buying. Like it's like an Instagram type of camera too. It's like that one.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
That one studio like VHS. I think I have like one at home, but
I do too,
actually wanted to get your thoughts on it. Do you think it's like a very good VHS camera, or you have to?
No, it's a good it gets the job done. You know what I mean? Like if you want that high quality, because there's another way you could do it, but it's a super long process. If you get a vintage VHS camera and you really want that authentic look, it might be worth the process. To me, who I focus my workflow more on execution and output, so I need a lot of output. That type of workflow wouldn't work well for me because there's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of steps I have to go through. So if you want to get that, just to get that VHS footage, if your client wants it, by all means, go ahead with it. For me, is that kind of the reason why you don't see me using it too much is because I kind of find it as a bit trendy, and I like to keep my stuff more on the more professional side, more clean cut side. So that's why. But if you use it in your videos, or if you're an artist and you like that, by all means, go ahead and get it, man.
Yeah, facts, man. And I want to get onto it like right now too, like the Ammaar Show. So it's been doing well since like I think like the past like couple years too, with like a lot of these like videos too. So how did that come about, and like what inspired you to do this, like even like cater to like the whole like Toronto scene and all that, you know?
So with the Ammaar Show, I remember before, like I was not gonna lie, like I was charging, but I realized like, yo, I'm coming across really talented people, and I always had that like thought in the back of my head, like I know Toronto is like a gold mine with talent. You know what I mean? So how can I make it as easy as possible for me to find these people and work with them, and make it as easy as possible for them to work with me? So that's why I took down the pay barrier. Obviously, it's gonna go on my YouTube channel or whatever. That's the trade. You know what I mean? You get high quality visuals. I get to put it on my channel, and then we both get exposure from that. We share the exposure on Instagram and all that stuff. But it's mainly to put on the talent from the city. I want people to see the potential that I see in the city. So that's the reason for the Ammaar Show. The first run was successful because I had to shut it down in 2 days because I was just getting too many submissions. But I was able to weed through it. We got some wicked artists. Shout out everybody who's been a part of the series. I'm still not done, to be honest with you. So I'm going to get back on that just because my workflow, my plate's been like super full these past couple of weeks. But I'm going to get back on it, finish out the season, and then hopefully start a new season soon. And then I wanted to keep it like a running thing. Like I want this to be something that's known for Toronto artists. I might open it up to the rest of the world too, but I want to specifically always focus on the Toronto scene, a part of all of that. You know what I mean? So.
And I mean, like the roster is like very like crazy about it. Like I mean, I mentioned like earlier and all that too, but like Double M, like it did like very well. I think
I'm telling you,
the one that we talked about, where they had like Bugatti like Bonzo and all that too. Like I think that was like the highest, and like that was actually like very like unique like in a way too. TT was like very dope.
Thank you. Shout out TT, man. Yo, go check out TT for real, man.
And like even like Kuvi's like World 2 and all that. Like I think like that was like very sick too.
Big up to the F1 family.
Yeah. As far as like people that you want to have like on that like platform and all that too, like who do you want to like work with like even in that city to get like a video done with them, you know?
Okay, so this is gonna sound ambitious. I think it's doable though. So in my defense, I think it's doable. But what I want to do is I want to make it a place where, because me coming up as an artist myself in the scene, I felt like there wasn't too much opportunity for artists to get put on by other media companies or whatever. So I'm trying to bring new artists to the scene, but I also want to celebrate the popular artists in the scene as well, the local artists. It's somewhere, it's like a nucleus where everybody with Toronto descent comes and gets to get their shine, you know? So I want to get the legends all the way from Cardinal to Socrates, you know what I'm saying? To Maestro, to then we have your TTs and all that stuff, mix it in there. The Goldie Londons, shout out Goldie London and all that. Like Double M's again if she wants to come on, you know what I mean? I want it to be a place where, say if you take a break you're from Toronto and you want to take a break, whether it's go on vacation, you're on tour or something, and you want that momentum back, you could always tap in with me. We do an episode for the Ammaar Show, and that could be a part of your rollout again, you know? So that's what I want. I want it to be like not only a fallback, but somewhere we could all celebrate, and something that's known to Toronto as like, yo, the Ammaar Show is ours. Flipping, let me tap in over here. Yo, tap in with Ammaar if you think you're sick, and then we'll get it going from there, you know?
Yeah, man, fact. So like I definitely see like a lot of people too. Like you would also have like the street guys and all that too, right?
Street guy. Well, to be honest, with the drill, and this is the thing, bro. Okay, I get to get into this with you, so I'm glad I get to talk about this. So with the submission process, I was getting a lot of the drill guys, but yo, you guys gotta calm down, bro. I gotta just say it plainly, man, because you guys incriminate yourselves, and I gotta be a parent. You gotta make it easy for people to work with you, because you guys make good music. Like the music I was hearing was good music, but the thing is, you guys are naming names. You guys are describing certain situations into detail about what you guys are doing to people. And it's like, in terms of the politics, it's not just me saying this, because other videographers are saying this behind the scenes as well. Like with the politics, it's very easy for us to get pulled into that too. So when it comes to like the drill side of things and the super hood side of things, I try and stay away from it, because I don't want to get pulled into the politics. Again, I'd make it your responsibility to make it easy for me to work with you. So if you, and this is what I was saying before, with beef and all that stuff, like we need to find a way to separate it from the music. Your beef is your beef. Keep it in your life. I don't want it coming into my life at all. Like if I want to help you on the music side of things because I think you're dope, but you can't be saying things and enticing certain situations to the point where people want to take action like in real life, you know? So that's all I got to say about that. But
yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like I definitely see like a lot of people like on that platform too. Like I would definitely see Paris like Richards like on there too. I think she's like a sick like lyricist like in a way too. I definitely see like, you know, people like, you know, Tona, Adam Bomb, Rich Kid like on there and all that like in a way.
Rich Kid, the rap, like he's still rapping?
Like I think he does like the producer side too, but like he also like still like raps too. I think.
Yo, Rich Kid, I would love to have Rich Kid over
Yeah.
this. Yo, Rich Kid is dope, man. I've been knowing about Rich Kid, so yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, like John Kabongo, like that would be also be
John
like,
Kabongo would be dope as well.
like Felonious.
All of them, you know what I'm saying? I'm open to, if you guys are open to working with me, and not to say you guys have any drama in your lives, because like I'm not assuming that, but I'm saying if you do, just keep it separate from what we got going on. I'm willing to work. As you guys see, I'm willing to hustle for you guys and all that stuff, trying to make it as easy as possible for us to work together. So let's do it, because I think at the end of the day, it benefits the city and it's a good look for the city. I think the Ammaar Show in general is just an amazing look for the city. So let's support it and keep it going, you know?
Yeah, man. And as far as like, you know, your like link up with like with Toronto Rapstars and all that too, like how did you like link up with them and all that, and like how is it like, you know, working with them for like the freestyle like spotlight series, you know?
Yo, to be honest, Toronto Rapstars, yo, big up my boy Justin, man. Like you got Toronto Rapstars that was like one of the things on like the bucket list, you know what I mean? Because I remember me as an artist messaging Toronto Rapstars for promo and all that stuff. So the fact that I'm working with them now is just, it's surreal. Every time I'm over there, it's surreal. It's like, yo, I get to help bring value to this brand, and I'm there to elevate things as well, and I'm a part of the process. So it's just an amazing experience so far, working with all the artists, working with Toronto Rapstars directly, and yo, I'm so thankful for that opportunity. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah, man. And like I mean, like even with the work there, like I like how, you know, it transitioned from like the mic to them like coming by and all that too, and like, you know, you had like a lot of people on there too. I mean, Russell, I think Danny Fernandez as well too, if I'm correct.
Danny
Chai Sully, Supreme again and all that. G Body, I think Julius X too and all that, and like it's like even with the newer acts too, with like Leo Lotus and I'm trying to like figure it out too, but I think they were like
we have artists coming through all the time, and I love it because again, it's like it's on the same brand as what I'm trying to do. It's on the same path of bringing everybody to the forefront. So it's not only my thing I'm focused on. Like I'm not trying to be selfish with it. Whoever else is trying to do this in that capacity, I'm trying to help too. It's just all at the end of the day, it's a mission of just putting on Toronto music and making the scene look better. Because I do think the scene needs infrastructure. So however I can help, I try and help, you know?
Yeah. How did you feel about their like baseball card era, like back in like 2018, 2019 and all that?
Which one? Say that again?
So like Toronto Rapstars, they had like the whole like trading card thing. This is like I think
we've had talks on that. So the trading card thing it was dope. I think it's a great idea, but obviously the friction you get there is every artist think they're the best artist on earth. So say if an artist thinks he's the best in the city and you give him like an 85 rating, he's gonna be like, what the hell? And get super angry. So I think it's a great idea, but the thing is, it's gonna cause a lot of friction. So if that ever does come back, you're gonna just have to stand on 10 and just catch the heat.
Pretty
you know
much.
What I mean?
I even like talked about this. Like I think like on like my stories and all that too. On like how I used to do like this whole like Toronto like rap list and all that. It was like I initially started it, and then like at that time it was like spring 2021, and like I remembered like with like one of the lists too. Like I remembered like the rankings to this they do. So number 1 was like Tia Banks. Number 2 was an artist named Deja SB.
Okay.
Who was like a non-binary artist too, and then I think the third one was I think Sad Boy and all that too, because she was like dropping like music at the time too, and then Killity, Taylor, I think 6.
Yo, you know, okay, since we're talking about Taylor, I just wanna guys, when she drops a record, listen to what she's saying, because Taylor, I think it goes over a lot of people's heads. Taylor has bars, bro, like bars. So yo, listen to that when you take in her music. Don't just gloss over it. Take in what she's saying, because she's really witty with it too, man. So big up Taylor.
Yeah. Like I remembered like even like when it like came like afterwards too, like it led to like, you know, more of like the established artists. So like at the time they weren't like releasing music at that time too. I mean, now I think one of them's I think like releasing like music like a lot more too. But even like that outcome from that too, like I remembered that like it got like posted like on Twitter one day and all that too. I think one of them like responded, and like, you know, it led to like a lot of like discourse and all that too. And then I actually got paged by like one of them actually, and then they just told me to take my shit like off your post and all that, you know.
So what, this was around the whole card stuff?
No, this is like 2021. So like this is like I think spring 2021. So I think it was like March, April, and all that too. And like this was like when Tia Banks had like her biggest like break and all that. And she was like dissing like Chromas like in one of the songs too. And then
it's a lot of politics. That's why.
And I actually rated Chroma as like number 7 on that. Like a lot of people would have.
So what was it? Was it like a list of the top rappers at the time, or
it was like more like it was like, you know, more like artists who are like currently doing good like in certain ways too. So like I looked at like a lot of factors. It was kind of like how Sean Cotton did like this whole like top 15 like rappers like list.
Okay, yeah.
So kind of similar to that and all that too.
Yeah.
And it got over like people's like heads and all that too. But there was the good and the bad too. And like, you know, I had to kind of accept it too.
Chime in, yeah. No, but to be honest, I think lists, in my opinion, bro, like everybody likes to say hip hop's like a competitive sport. If you're gonna say that, and especially if everybody's gonna echo that sentiment, like we need to stand on 10 when it comes to these type of things, and we need to invite these things. I think, in my opinion, I think beef is bad for the culture, but I think these type of lists and all that, just to give these artists to strive towards, I think these lists are good. No matter if you agree with it or not, I think they are good. But you guys need to take it in stride and be like, these lists are subjective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not fact. They're just based off of that person. They may be based off of numbers too. So it doesn't have any reflection on your skill. It just may need to, it may point to the fact that you need to market yourself better or something, because maybe they haven't heard of you. So take it as that too. But I encourage the list, yo. And when you, these media blogs, please when you put up these lists, do them in your truth. You know what I mean? Don't just do it because you know this guy or this guy gave you money and did it. No more of that in Toronto. All these sus movements, no more of that in Toronto. Like if you're a media person, do it by the numbers and be truthful with what you're talking about. If you're gonna stand beside an artist, don't just stand beside them because they're your friend. Stand beside them because they're actually good. Exactly. You know, and I feel like that'll do the scene a lot better. So continue with the list. Just make sure they're authentic and they're your authentic opinion. That's it.
You know, can't say like more on that. Even like I'm gonna say like in that sense too. Like I remember like when Friday started like doing that like list too, and like he felt like he was like the first person that did that. He wasn't the first person. I mean, I was like doing it like earlier, and like other people were probably like doing it like earlier too. So it's like you know, sometimes too, you know, like starts off with what you're doing, like because even I'll say like one example too, like Dejan, like when he did the whole like rap report card thing too. Okay. Like it was like a brand
I heard about that when it was going on. Yeah.
Like I remember like how it became like very controversial at first too, and then now it's like everyone wants to be on the rap report card, and like how it shaped, you know, LA's like music scene for a bit too, and like you know, it worked in a way too. And like I had him on the podcast, I think a couple years back and all that, and he gave like good game on that situation and how it actually helps like with the development of like the music process. Like
you hold people accountable.
Yeah.
No, but with that, in terms of putting out, if you're gonna put it out, be well versed in the music in Toronto. I'm saying with a lot of the lists I do see, they represent one side, and I don't mean to say this, so please don't get offended when I say this, but I almost see the Toronto scene as two separate entities. There's the super hood scene, and then there's the scene the diversified variety scene where you have artists like your Ghost Boys and that collective. Then you have mans like Supreme and those guys. You know what I mean? That's all that I clump it to the other side, because that side gets no shine. The hood side gets all the shine. So I'm not saying take the shine away from one side, but I'm saying let's shine light on this side as well and acknowledge that they're there, because there's a lot of good music we're glossing over, and there's a lot of stars, I feel like, a lot of people who could blow up into something and really represent the city well, that are there, that are getting glossed over. And that's my job, to bring light to this scene. You know what I mean? So that's my job, and that's how I like to see it, you know?
Yeah, facts, man. And, you know, I'm going to say this like in a sense too, like, you know, you're like the only person that actually directs their own like videos, like for their like own platform. Like I think like with other people, like it's like the opposite, where they're directing for other people's like music videos, and then they would put that on their like YouTube channel and all that too. So what made you decide on like even like directing your own videos, you know, for your own platform, and like instead of like shooting it for other artists, like for their own music, like too, like I know like you are like doing it for their own music in a sense, but it's not like where you do it like in the music video and like it gets posted on the channel and you just get like a tag and all that.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, because the Ammaar Show is an original idea, I wanted to keep the branding consistent through all these videos. I don't like it when the branding is all over the place. I wanted something to where fans could come to. If they like the branding, they stay. The brand is consistent throughout, and I almost wanted to run it like almost like a Netflix show or a Netflix series. So that's why I take that much control over it. I don't necessarily, like, it's in collaboration. So what I usually do is tell the artists pick their locations and all that. And I like to emphasize these are like more performance videos. So in terms, I'll do concepts and all that, but intricate storylines. My philosophy is I don't like to have too many chefs in the kitchen. So there is always a clear head to the team, and everybody knows their position in it. So with the artists, I instruct them, all right, go find locations that are true to you. I'll come and film. And that's why a big compliment I've been getting throughout the season is just that these videos feel like the style of the artists in them. You know what I'm saying? It's still shot in my style, but they still feel like the artist who's performing, and the branding and all that is still unique to them. And that's because I give them the choice of picking the locations and choosing the styles, outfits, and all that stuff. I come and I shoot and I make it look good. So that's one.
Yeah, and you know what I like about it too? It's like very diversified too, because it's not like, you know, hip hop or R&B or like just like in one direction. It's like you have like all these like people in this like whole melting pot, and you know, it's just from one song to another song to another song too, and like I want to figure out that idea, like what made you decide on like diversifying and you know, choose that instead of like staying in like one genre, like whether it's like within only in hip hop or in only in like R&B and all that.
So I didn't want to be limited in, because I consider it all under the umbrella of urban music, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to make it as open as, yo, if I like the music, I'll shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like Afrobeats, I like R&B, I like hip hop. You know what I mean? And if you want to come and you want me to work and you want an episode on the Ammaar Show and you're within those styles that I listen to anyways, I'm going to do it, you know? So I wanted to keep it open. I didn't want to pigeonhole myself to one exact super specific style. Obviously, I won't have like rock and roll or none of those things on there. But in terms of like the urban music umbrella, I want to bring more light to that side of the scene. And that's why I did that.
All right. Would you ever work with like, you know, like pop or like rock artists too? Or like, you know, even people that like fit like in that different like narrative too? Like, you know, like a country artist or like, let's say like a reggae or...
So like, yeah. So like I like to call them the island styles. So island styles, Afro, reggae, even like soca and those type of things. If I like the song, I'm not the biggest soca fan, but if I like the song, I know we had one musician who did soca and I really liked her song, and it was a soca one, and I'm like, let's do it anyways, you know? So I'm open to that. In terms of country, rock, the reason why I don't do those things is because I'm genuinely just not passionate for those styles of music. So I don't want to do it any disservice by, you know what I'm saying, lying to kick it, if you get what I mean. So yeah.
And even within these like videos as well too, like what was like that best moment that you had like when like working on like one of these two, like what was like that moment that like lives on like in your head like forever, like, you know, like that was like the greatest day to shoot that type of content and all that?
So with the Ammaar Show so far, music videos that stood out in my head that were like game changers for me was Supreme's episode, so Supreme Swiss's episode. Because I remember one of the comments after we made that video was like, yo, this video looks polished. Like, it looks like a label video. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want to bring to this scene. Like, I want to give this product to the upcoming artists and be like, see, you can have those visuals where you're at, just as long as somebody believes in you and keep on making great music. The support will be there. Also, TT's episode, definitely go check out TT. That's another artist I co-sign 100%. Her episode, I remember when we made her episode, one of the comments made afterwards was like, yo, thank you so much for doing this. You really brought that vision to life. The way I see myself as an artist in my head when I blow up, like, that's how I look on screen. You know what I mean? And even that, like, has power to it because that keeps her motivated. Every time she watches that video now, she sees, like, yo, she sees herself in that light. So it's that much more believable, you know? So sky's the limit for a lot of these artists, and I just want to help like cultivate that attitude within them to keep them going.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing to hear, man. And I mean the importance of like even like doing these two, because you see like in like Busy Bee and like with DMTV, with Turn Up Toronto and like a lot more too. How do you value that importance, you know, even for the music industry and within hip hop, within creating like these like moments like this? And is it something that should be like highly regarded and like focused on all that?
Yeah, so I like the mic performances and all those guys you just mentioned. Shout out to all of them, because I feel like I've touched base with most of them and we've had that conversation and I love what they're doing. You know what I mean? But it's the fugazi people that come afterwards who are only doing it for the clout, if you get what I mean. It's the platforms and other rappers even who do it. Some of them, I see them copying a certain style, copying like the exact style of other platforms. I encourage you not to do that. But my thing is, if you're going to do the mic performances, make sure you're doing them out of the right place in your heart. Like, do them because you want to bring more light to these artists, these good artists. Don't do them as a finesse because you're an artist yourself and you want to start it and you just want to bring attention to and throw yourself up on there. Or you see it as an easy finesse to get money, because to be honest, it's not. Like, when it comes to the music in general, you got to have a passion for it, because it's not something where you can do well in it financially, but it does take work. So don't think this is just an easy finesse jumping in this. If you're going to do this, do it for real.
Yeah,
So,
because like, you know, like they see like the cloud and stuff like that too, and like some like they'll do like the botting and all these like other things. So when like, you know, it comes as like in an inauthentic and all that too, it's like, you know, you want like that moment because such and such is like doing it too, and it's like not like even with genuine like intentions and all that.
So with the I call them fugazi antics. With the fugazi antics, like stop it. Everybody in the scene doing the fugazi antics, I'd encourage you to stop doing that, because the way you get on is how you stay on. So say if you're paying for followers or if you're paying for likes, you're paying for comments or whatever, realize the moment you start that rabbit hole, you're gonna have to continue down that rabbit hole, because it's gonna look away when you have hundreds of thousands of followers and your post is only catching 20 likes, or if your post has thousands of likes and has only a handful of comments, it looks away. So I just encourage, like, grind authentically. And I'm telling you, like, with me, I don't even have that much followers, but my real world impact, I'm seeing it. My inbox is full of inquiries and all that stuff. Like, people know my name. I'm walking on the street, people recognize me and stuff like that. And I don't even have that much. Like, if you check online, you'd think my impact's nothing, but within the city, it's starting to grow. So do the actual hustle, and I'm telling you, like, it'll pay off. Like, it'll just start clicking one day and it'll start snowballing, and it's so worth it. So
yeah, man. Have you ever had like any like A&Rs or like people from like the industry like hit you up, like, you know, like, we like what you're doing and all that too? Would you want to work with like one of our artists like one day and all that?
Well, I haven't got the following for the Ammaar Show up to there yet. I do kind of foresee that happening at some point. On the my other collaborators that we're working with, it's already happened. So the quality is there. They see the value in the visuals and all that stuff with these things, and they want to plug their people in. But it's just building them up to a point where it's like it does look enticing for them by the numbers as well. But I think that's gonna come soon anyway. So
all right, man. Yeah. And I mean, with your music too, it's pretty crazy as well too, because you had like
you.
Ice Cold, Grow, Thanks. Immaculate. Make It Happen, Fairy Tale, Talk Nice to Me, and like you had like Macadelic and Director Huss like direct some of those too. So what was that like inspiration and creative process like, and like even like having like those like people like direct your videos, you know?
So with I haven't directed a video with Huss, but I've known Huss for a minute from my dancing days, because he ended up like sponsoring our crew back in the day. He used to have like a clothing brand, and he gave us clothes to wear while we were performing and all that. So shout out Huss, man. Like, one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. So big up Huss. With Macadelic, I remember he reached out to me when he found that I do music. Just for the record, I don't do music seriously anymore. If you see me, I did like a whole freestyle run end of last year, just to kind of like shake off the dust and all that stuff, and just to show like, okay, if I'm gonna be one of the leaders in this scene, I want to show you guys, leaders in terms of bringing attention to the scene, I want to show you guys like I'm qualified to be here too. You know, I can spit, I have bars too. And I know what's good in terms of taste making. So that's what it was for. I'm going to do it periodically, maybe for like a birthday, or say again next time, winter time, I might do another run. But in terms of serious music, I'm done with it. But working with them, Macadelic was amazing. Easy to work with. Yeah, man, what could I say? Like, really tap in with those prominent videographers, because they really do deal with you nice, you know?
Yeah, man. And like, you know, you also like produce like a lot of those like songs too. So what made you decide on producing those instead of like getting like another producer to do it?
The splits, bro. Like, that's it. Yo, these splits are crazy in terms of when you buy like beat licenses and all that stuff. They can get expensive, especially when you want to own them and all that. So that kind of forced me, when I was in an earlier stage of my career, to learn myself, you know. And I've never been afraid to like learn from the grassroots, and that's what I did. I learned a lot about it. A lot of it I don't remember right now, because I've been so focused on the video stuff, but it was paying off at a certain point, you know?
All right, man. And, you know, even with your first creative project until now, like, have you noticed like that growth as a creative, like in a way too? Like, I know like when you first started off, like it was like with the dance and music. Now it's like people are like paying attention to your videos, to your like work ethic, like everything else, you know?
Yeah, so that's magical to see, man. That progress really keeps you going for real. So I remember when I was doing music, nothing was happening. Like, it was dead in the waters, like no type of motion or whatever. Once I started making that switch and kind of I feel like it's almost alignment, because I started really listening to the people around me, and they're like, yo, you do great videography work. Like, you should really think about taking it seriously. And once I took it seriously, that's when the motion started naturally coming. People started naturally seeking me out. And then the Ammaar Show stuff happened. That blew the lid off, because if I didn't do the Ammaar Show, I would have never lined up with Rapstars, you know what I mean? And I would have never got the chance to connect with all these different artists as well. So big up to everybody who's been a part of the process. It's been a journey, but like, I love it so far.
Factor, man. And you know, it's like amazing to see from that growth, you know. Like, I think you definitely have to keep going, and like,
oh, thank
you know, can never stop, man. Like, I mean, it's like it's crazy because it's like you see it with like a lot of like platforms too, like when they first like come up until now and all that, and it's like you have to think like where would they be now if they continued and all that too, and like there were like some that were like doing their thing and like they stopped for a bit. Now it's like we're seeing that with like a lot of like up and coming talent, and like they just like keep going, and like it's like you just have to keep like that work ethic like going and like realize where the trajectory could hit. Like one day, like maybe it might not be as much like in terms of like views and engagement and like hitting the algorithm, but like there's like days where it might hit. Like one day you have like this like one viral moment, and if it hits, it hits.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you never really take the L unless you completely stop what you're doing. You know what I mean? As long as you keep going, it's still possible. Just make sure you're doing it in a way that's sustainable. That's it.
That's facts, man. Like I know we're gonna get into a tense conversation for a bit too, but
no worries.
Have you ever felt like with like a lot of like Toronto media pages, like Six Buzz, Real Toronto News, Keep Six, We Live Hip Hop, are they giving like a good name for like the Toronto music urban media, or would you say like it would be like different and all that?
So in terms of that stuff, I do feel like there's a lane for it, and I feel like they do a really good job in that lane. But I don't think that's the be all end all for the Toronto scene. You know what I mean? I do feel like we need a couple more leaders in the scene that highlight other aspects of it, the more positive aspects of it. Because I think they're great on reporting on the drama that happens in the scene. But I think there's just nothing to balance what they're doing. So keep on doing your things if you're those media collectives. Keep on doing your things. You guys are doing a great job, obviously, because the numbers support it. But I do think we need more leaders kind of who are more passionate about the music side of things, covering that, and I feel like speaking on that and are respected for their opinions in that light, because I feel like a lot of artists, a lot of great artists are getting glossed over because they're not into the stupidness. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and like I could say the same for like even with Six Buzz and Keep Six, like where they would start off like posting like drama, like fuckery, whatever, and then like labels like Warner would hit them up like for them to create like album deals and all that too, and like like it never like really went anywhere too. Like like I would have expected like a new album like from Six Buzz like by now and all that, but it is.
No, but like again, like I don't want to knock their hustle because they are doing a great job of what they're doing. That's why their audience is there. It's just again, it's up to the labels. They're going wherever the clout is, and they did a good job of stirring up that clout. So now they get to distribute it in the way they see fit. I'm just saying we need people on the other end who are actually, and I'm saying with an exclamation mark, with quotations, whatever it needs, an asterisk, who actually are passionate about the scene and the music and the scene, not just the drama. We need somebody to balance that out. And if it has to be me, if I have to go into that talking role, I will, as well as the videography role. I will do whatever it takes to get this scene on, because I do feel like a lot of artists, we're losing too much talent. We're losing too much talent, not just to crime, to death. We're losing a lot of talent to just them giving up because they feel like there's no resources over here. So I'm trying to fix that, especially because I guarantee we're losing more talent to that stuff, and they see no kind of future in that. We're losing more talent to that than we are in any other way. So I'm really trying to stir people up, get people excited about the scene in Toronto. That's why I always talk about the scene and the whole infrastructure of Toronto. I really do want to build myself up into a leader within the scene, because I feel like I could really make that change, and I really know how it feels to be in that artist position and to be slept on, even though you have this gold mine worth of stuff. On the flip side, though, what I do want to talk about as well, too, is artists need to realize when they need to start investing in their own stuff, too. You can't I know I'm saying this from my position because I am providing some freebies, but you can't expect freebies all the time. And you got to make it work in your position. If I'm not charging you for the video necessarily, then it doesn't mean you don't spend nothing on your music. It's your music. At the end of the day, you still are in charge, and that's your responsibility to get it out to the world. So if somebody's not charging you for the video, then you use that budget towards the marketing. The rule is you're spending more on marketing than you are on the video. So that's a way you could finesse that situation and get your name out there. You know what I mean? You want to use it towards your benefit, not just because it's a freebie and let it go to waste like that. So I'm paying attention to that too, because I'm giving you guys the opportunities now, because a lot of artists say, if I had the support, I'd be able to do A, B, C, and D. All right, cool. You have the support now. It's fully behind you. Let's see what you do with it. And I'm not knocking anybody in the Ammaar Show. All you guys are great or nothing like that. So please don't take it as I'm talking on those artists, because I'm not. I'm speaking in general. A lot of the times when you give them this resource, they don't think of it in that manner. And they don't think it all the way through. They just take it as a freebie, and they just want the freebies to continue and continue and continue, and there's no progress. And that's how you lose support. So it's not a threat, it's not a warning, it's just reality in that sense. So that's what I want everybody to take in with that too. Really use these resources towards your advantage.
And like even in terms of marketing too, I'm just gonna like add like my 2 cents too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like definitely like don't like rely on like Instagram or like TikTok or YouTube to get people to know you too. Like there's like, you know, different markets to use where you could actually like promote you like your music like in a way to like promote your content.
Yeah.
Facebook is like actually like one good example right now. Like when you create like a Facebook page and then you know like run the ads and all that too, like run like, you know, like you put whatever money for like the ads like for people to see it like in different countries. People do tap in, like they check out the content and like it works from there too. Reddit's like also like a good example, like if you want to like post certain content too, like I have like a burner like Reddit account and all that, and like usually what I would do, I would post like certain videos for people to like watch and all that, and like whether it's like an interview or a freestyle, and you know like if you post it like on Torontology or on Torontologist or like anywhere like our Toronto, like people do tap in, like they engage, like you know read that over, and you know people like view it and works from there, you know. So
exactly. So just don't think. And again, it's a real life hustle too. Your music's not just an online hustle. Like you got to go out there, you got to perform and all that stuff. I know it's hard to get onto these shows, especially the ones that are charging you to perform. Don't go on those ones. Those ones are a finesse. I'm not going to lie. So, but find a way to kind of make that a real world hustle in terms of like you're performing in these things. I think that's the next area that we need to focus on for 2026. I feel like we got the media side of things in line right now and everybody's working together collaboratively to kind of elevate the scene. But I think the live show aspect is the next frontier we have to tackle in a safe type of way and a way where it benefits everybody. So
yeah. And like, you know, to even like dive deep on like that whole like live show situation, because I remember I think in like one of the videos you said that it's like everybody and their grandma like going to a hip hop show, and it's like not hip hop like in a way too. And like I could definitely like agree to where I've been to some of these like concerts too, and they have like their mom, their dad, their 2 kids, and all that.
I have the craziest story. So I had a show. This was back when I was an artist. I had a show, and I was excited for it. Got ready for it, all that stuff. Flipping, when it came time to perform, I'm getting nervous as an artist because I'm seeing grandmas walk in. I'm seeing moms walk in. I'm seeing people's little brothers, little sisters walk in and all that. And my set, I have cussing in my music at that time. So I could, like, as an artist in that position, and especially if you're a showrunner, like, really think about the people you want coming to your show. Not to say they can't listen to hip hop, but really, is this something that's for little kids, little sisters, little brothers? Is it for grandmas and parents who aren't, like, to the culture, aren't privy to the culture? Not to say they can't come, they can, but I'm saying really market to your audience to a point where those are, let's be real, like those are the minorities coming to the show, and it's more of your market base coming to the show to enjoy actual hip hop. That's how you lose people, because it's like, I'm sorry, but why is most of the audience families? You know what I mean? It should be more people within the scene who are privy to hip hop and all that stuff. Because I don't want to be cussing in front of no 6-year-old kid. I don't want to be cussing in front of no 7-year-old grandma who knows nothing about hip hop. You know what I mean? So you got to really, as somebody, and like I said, that's a frontier we have to tackle. So these problems come along with it, and I hope we can solve it soon. But we need reputable shows that people actually come out to, the right audience comes out to, and everybody can benefit. The people performing get to get new fans. The people who come there for a show get to experience good artists. So it needs to be curated as well. Not just anybody could come up on a stage. And then also the people who are doing the shows feel like they're compensated for their time well, you know? So we need to find that happy medium, and I think that's the next frontier we have to tackle.
And like also like another PSA too, like please don't bring strippers to a hip hop show, like because I've had some situations where like these like hip hop shows and all that, or like these like hip hop events, and they'll have like a stripper like just like dancing in like one area too, and I'm just like, I mean, it is like interesting to be like strippers are like essential within hip hop, but not at a live performance like situation too, but like you know also accounting for money as well too, and then you have to realize your 18 to 25 demographic too, and like a lot of them are gonna be privy to like enjoying like more of the younger racks too, so it'll be like a SAP for Rex, or it'll be like a top 5 or a Pressa, like that's where your 18 to 25 like demographic is gonna be at. I think even like the last time, like when you actually saw like a 18-25 demographic at a sold out show, it was like when Prime Boys and like Halal Game like performed at like the Mod Club and all that too, and like it was like people within that age range going. It's not like your mom.
There was a show back in the day. I think it might have been the Prime Boys one, and they were performing with Halal Gang, I think it was a university ran show or something like
It was
that.
the mod club show.
Bro,
And
I'm telling you, to this day, that was the best concert I've been to. Like that, the energy in there was amazing. I got to hear all the songs I love.
true.
Ram Riddles was there at the time too. He made a guest appearance, and it was just fire. It was amazing. So like shows, I think that was I'd consider that a successful show. No, so things like that we need to get back to in terms of the shock value of bringing strippers on stage. I guess to a certain extent, but as a rapper, as somebody in music, I think you need to still take in, there's a certain level of professionalism you want to move in. And just from my dealings with people, the ones who really move professional are the ones who stand out. So don't think you always got to do this shock factor thing. I'd like to call it selling out to a certain degree when you just do anything for the views and attention. I want to steer away from that and focus more on the professional side of things and you getting known for the talent you bring and the great show you put on. All right?
yeah, man. Even with like media platforms too, like I know like we're gonna continue on with this, dude. So
Yeah, no worries.
do you ever feel like they should cover like certain people that were exposed for certain things? So like with snitching, with rape or abuse or racism and all that too. So you see like with I don't want to say like too many names too. Like they've had like people that were very controversial in that, and like in your situation, would you ever like cover like those types of people and all that?
So I'm gonna be real. If I hear you, I don't mean like, obviously I like to keep it as like one-to-one as possible. How you deal with me, I like to judge it off of that. But if you're coming in like say I heard a videographer ended up getting hurt on your set because of something you said in your song, or the way you guys are moving in public and stuff like that, like the beef extends to the videographer, I'm not gonna work with you. So all of this is within reason. I mean to say, there's no definite line when it comes to this. When it comes to like the salacious stuff behind the scenes, I do think media should cover that to a certain extent. In terms of the snitching and all that stuff, to be honest, that street shit, I'm not a street guy. That's none of my business. You know what I mean? In terms of you affecting others, like the grape allegations, the like sexual harassment allegations and all that stuff. As an artist, I feel like your mind needs to be on, I need to be professional at all times because you're a front-facing figure. So you need to be concerned about that. Media covering that type of stuff before it's convicted or something like that, it's up for debate, to be honest. I'd like to hear what people say in the comment section on this. For me personally, that stuff, I'd have to do it on a case-by-case basis, because if I'm hearing you're doing that to people, I'm more inclined not to work with you, because I don't want my brand associated with that either, you know? So, yeah, I do think media should cover that. When it comes to the jail stuff, like the snitching and all that, I don't care for it. I don't feel like the media should really care for that in terms of snitching. That's real life shit. You get what I mean? Not hip hop. So
yeah, I definitely agree. You know, and like I know we've like had this like idea like throughout like years and all that too. Like, do you ever feel like there's like a crab in the bucket like mentality like in Toronto?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're quickly eroding it though. So I think we're doing a good job of eroding that mentality. So in terms of like the screw face thing, I don't like it, because even we've lost a couple artists to that crab in the bucket mentality, where they'll be on the come up and then something happens and they die, which is a shame, because they could have brought some more steam to the city and helped the other artists coming on by featuring them, by shouting them out, all that stuff. You know what I mean? So we got to get rid of that, which I think we're doing. We got to start making people more proud of where they come from in Toronto and all that stuff, and just really going out and supporting these shows because it's a Toronto show, because it's this, and there's great artists there as well, you know? So,
yeah. And like I feel like, as you said, it is like very like it's improving like over time too, and like I think with some platforms too, like sometimes like they'll take it in and like help out and like, you know, be like a melting pot to help with others. It's like they go by like their old ways too. So it, like all depends on like what you're like bringing out to, and like I think even with like some of these like platforms too, like they're bringing like everyone in a sense to kind of perform their song or to do something like you know, cover them like in media and all that, and like sometimes too like it helps out like in a way too, you know, like it gives them like that piece of content to work on, to showcase like, hey, I've done this before. Like they like send it out to labels, to other people as well too. So yeah, man. Like, you know, when you talked about like the idea of like leadership, you know, within like media and like within like music and all that too. Aside from yourself, like who do you see like that's like doing that like very well right now?
Toronto Rapstars. When it comes to music, keeping the situation on the music and highlighting good music that's coming from Toronto Rapstars all day. I think they're the best media blog doing that right now. You guys really need to tap in with that. I'm saying they're the number one media blog in the city for putting on new music and for new artists as well as seasoned artists too. So if you're out there and you want your music seen or whatever, Toronto Rapstars is the way to go. Obviously, come check in with your boy. But in terms of good intentions, I'd say Toronto Rapstars, top 6. Not to say anybody else doesn't have good intentions. I don't really know you guys like that. But in terms of coverage and all that, what I'm seeing, those two blogs are the best at keeping it on the music, keeping the conversation on the music, as well as providing people and artists an entry into the scene, as well as keeping them hooked onto the scene and what's going on within it.
Yeah, I could definitely say DMTV as well. So like I know like they've worked with like a lot of like younger up and coming artists too, and like they've transitioned to doing stuff in like California, Florida, and like much more too. And like it's amazing to see. Turn Up Toronto at like one point too, like they did something like with that, and like like it helped like with a lot of people, like with Snow Day, Studio of like Legends too. Like even though it's like more of the street stuff, like I feel like they're putting on with like some people like here and there and all that.
Oh, Studio Legends definitely. Studio Legends and DMTV definitely. They're doing that constant grind. Studio Legends in particular, they've had a couple viral moments and helped out the scene a lot. So keep doing your thing on there as well. So big up to everybody doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Busy B as well too.
Yo, BZB too. Yeah, chillest guy, man. You toxic chillest guy, man. So cool, but. Definitely tap in with BZB. I've told him I love what he's doing over there as well. So, yeah man.
And I mean, he's like making a lane like within like his own idea with the whole like convenience store situation.
I love it. I love the whole idea of that, bro. Like, so crazy.
Yeah. So. Like I remembered, I think there was like this like other like big brand store that kind of took the concepts and all that too, and like I think Busy B like spoke about it too, like on how like it affected him a little bit too, and like I know like some people in the comment section were like calling that place out for. Just like doing that, and I think like there was like this one comment where Busy B's like not doing it better. It's like through his phone and all that. This is through a professional camera and.
But still, like I think it's hip hop again, and I love this because it's bringing up an issue I see in the scene, not just our scene, but in the scene as a whole. Yo, original ideas seem hard to come by these days, bro. Like it's not that hard to take an idea in dancing. And I think this is where I learned it from. In dancing, my mentor taught me how to take an idea and make it my own. So you take the idea and you're inspired by your influences, and then you flip it. You use that idea as a base point, and you just transform it and flip it until it becomes something original. More people need to do that in hip-hop, bro, because once you guys see something working, bro, like you guys just rinse that lane and then you spoil it for everybody because now that lane is saturated. Whoever was the original in that lane can't really put out that content no more because it's saturated because of you guys. It's like, yo, original ideas, please. And if you're inspired by something, dope. Show love, all that stuff. If you want to reach out to them to help you kind of make something of your own, why not do that? You know what I mean? But just learn the process of taking it. And I'm not talking to just artists. I'm talking to everybody creatively in the scene. Take something, flip it into your own idea. Don't mirror it one-to-one because that's when you take apart the integrity in the scene, and that's when everybody who's watching from the outside will be like, bro, there's a million of these things. I don't know what to focus on. If everybody had an original idea, it'd be like, I go here for this, I go here for that, I go here for this. Dope, But the one-to-one copying, and I'm seeing it, especially in the mic performances, I'm seeing it, bro. Like, stop it, man. Stop it. Move better.
Yeah. I definitely want to see like certain like ones where it showcases like more of like the idea, like originality too, like ciphers and all that too, like a page where they have like like a cipher like a month and all that, like they do it like within a variety of like artists. So like that should like definitely like.
To be honest, I'm glad you brought that up because that was the next move I'm trying to figure out. Is like I want to bring that live. To be honest, MC culture in general, and I don't care if somebody beats me to it because I'd love to help you. If you're gonna do it, reach out to me. I'd love to help you do that. But I think we need MC culture back in Toronto. I get everybody's doing the melodic thing, and you guys are doing it good too because we're known worldwide for that. But I'd love to see the MC culture build out a lot more in the city because I hear people with bars. I would love there to be either a show or even a competition of man's just ciphering, going nuts with the bars because I wanna be known as a city with bars too.
Yeah. So. Like I had this like idea in my head too on like who would be like a good fit, like like a 5-man like cipher and all that too. Yeah. Junga Bongo, like that would be like a sick
Dex,
one too.
I'm gonna throw one name in there that not many people are privy to, but I think he's one of the hardest lyricists in the city. Dex. If I drop, me and Dex have a song, bro. If I drop that shit, bro, we are talking in the song.
Dex Ray, like from Studio.
Yeah, from 145. Yeah, big up Dex, bro. We have a track, bro. Like, yeah, but anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Junga Bongo, like that would be sick. Felonious. Spitty,
Thelonious
like that.
dope
That would
too,
be
yo. What?
sick
Yeah.
too. OTS Gates, who like I just actually like
OTS
recently
Gates.
like
Yeah.
listened to him like recently too.
Is that the guy who was in the beef?
100 watts? Yeah,
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah,
like
okay, yeah,
actually
he's
like a
dope
very
too,
sick
he's dope
lyricist.
too.
Like
Shout out you,
I feel
guy.
like he would be good like in a cipher too.
Yeah, he's dope.
Either like a mix between like Double M or like Kavai Mighty, like in like that, like you know,
Yeah.
because you need
Yeah.
like some women and some men in like one
Yeah.
cipher. Like it shouldn't be like an all.
I think, to be honest, I do think we should have. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I do think we should have a male one and a female one, and then like a all stars one where we bring them together, almost kind of thing. Go on with your list.
Yeah, but I think like having like that mix too, like that would like pretty
Yeah.
much like work and all that too, and
I
like
definitely agree.
it depends on like the setup and all that too. Like you have like a DJ like right there and all that, like on how like Double XL like used to be and all that.
Exactly.
And you have like one person like holding a mic too, like all like like you have like the speakers, like you hear like the actual like beat and all that, and they just go to town with it, so
Exactly. So like all this stuff he was mentioning, very doable. So reach out if you want to do this. Reach out to me. We can get you connected and flipping. We can make it happen. This stuff is very, very doable. I think we got the talent for it. We have the resources ready and willing to go. I just need more passionate minds behind me to make this happen. So a big key factor, the X factor in all this is being passionate. Don't just do this because you think it's a play. Like it's very evident when we see you to see and the way you talk and how you talk about the scene, if you're passionate or not, or if you're just doing this as a finesse. So we need more passionate people about the scene.
Undope, man. How do you feel about the whole like song wars like thing going on right now? Like I know
I
recently,
Yeah.
Like I know recently I did like some like on my own end with like I had like one like which is like a Brampton edition, another which was like volume 2, and then the first one was like volume 1 like back in like November I think too. And
Yeah.
there are like other people that are like doing it too. Like my guy 808 Tanzania's like did one like recently with some people that I knew. DT Beats, a very well-known producer, did like a lot for like the city for like more of the street artists too. But like I do want to see like more with like.
I want to be a mix. The thing is, I don't have nothing against these street guys. The only thing I'd say with you guys is stop snitching on yourselves so much. Like stop describing things in detail so much and stop letting the drama get into your music. Yeah. But my thing is, because you guys make great music and you guys are talented, it just sucks that that's what's holding you guys back. But I would love to blend the two scenes together so we just have one overall scene, and whoever is good makes it to the top, like in a natural way, because I think that would be great for everyone. But in terms of the song wars, I love the fact that everybody's thinking in that aspect. I do think it's almost kind of like an arms race right now, because I think we need a central biggest song wars platform, if you get what I mean. So, but that's the only thing. But I love the idea. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, man. Probably like I was supposed to do like a songwriter one, like a singer-songwriter one, I think from February, but decided like to maybe like move it to March or April, so we'll probably see that in a way.
Hey, sick.
Yeah, man. As far as like mental health too, because being like a black man dealing with like mental health and all that too, there's like a lot of like things like going on like throughout the world and all that too, and like being black, there are like a lot of like stigmas and stuff like that too. So how do you deal with your mental health as a person in your position with shit going on in life, with your personal life, with your work life, everything else too? Do you ever feel like it's like very like overwhelming like in a way too? Yeah,
so it does get overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, but things that are outside of me, things that are outside of my control, I try not to take on, if you get what I mean. So how I'm perceived by others too much, you know what I mean? Obviously there's a certain level of visibility I want to carry and a certain brand I want to push forward. But in terms of if it's about my skin, I can't control my skin color. You know what I'm saying? I think racism is a low-class behavior. So when it comes to that type of stuff, and if you're judging me on that, like it says more about you than it does about me. So I don't take on stuff like that. But in terms of like workload, because I do have a full-time job I get to as well. And sometimes I'm working 14 hours at that job and all that stuff. And I still have to come home and edit. But at the end of the day, I remember there was a time where I was praying to God, like, yo, I want to be this busy. I want to be making moves like how I'm making right now. So you can't complain when the work starts hitting. You know what I mean? Like this is just, I see it as like a trial phase where it's like, okay, you asked for this. Can you really handle it? So I'm proving to everybody now, as well as myself, like, yes, I can. I'm ready for this opportunity. I'm ready to go. So like I pressed the green button already, and it's like, I'm gonna keep it pushing until something happens, So
I think that's the same for like everyone, like in a way too. Even for me, like I wish I could be doing like a lot of podcasts and interviews like every day, like how like people like in No Jumper were doing it or on the radar and all that too. But you know, nowadays too, like if you don't have like a lot of resources, and you know, if you have to focus on a 9 to 5, you know, paying your bills, being with family, having like other tasks and all that too, like along with like doing like this like passion project, you know, like in a way, like sometimes you have to like look at it in a way where you want to balance it. So like, you know, like for me, it's like, you know, maybe doing like 1 podcast a week or 2 podcasts like a week and all that, like have that time for like editing like in the next week, or even focusing like on other stuff too, like to not take in like a big like workload too. And you know, you have to like balance it like in a way too, like even having a planner, even like scheduling it on your calendar too, like it has to like work you the way too. And like, you know, even like some people too, they think that we live in the studio every day and all that, or like, you know, we're working like every day on this. You know, sometimes I maybe like I'll do this like maybe like once or twice in a week. You know,
so no, I'm an advocate for, I'm pro job. Like, yo, when you're in the starting stages of whatever you're doing, have a job, have a way to provide for yourself outside of this too. Because don't just, it puts you in a state of disparity where you start making snake moves and you start snaking people over and start having all these bad dealings when you aren't anchored in that way outside of the entertainment stuff, you know? So in terms of balance, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of like, people are gonna hate me for saying this, I don't believe in work-life balance almost. Like, I feel like if you have a goal, you run for it. You run as quick as you can towards that goal. Even if you gotta stumble forward and trip forward, you get up and you keep going until you get that goal. Work-life balance, to me, this is my opinion, so not to say I'm right or I'm wrong or anything like that, it's just my perspective. I feel like everybody has to come up with a strategy that works for them. But for me, it's a lot easier and better for me to just get fully engulfed by my passion and just run head first and just see what happens out of that. You know what I mean? So as long as I'm leveraged in other areas of my life, I'm good. So I just want to put that out there as well.
All right, man. And you don't have like any like regrets like in your life and all that?
So in terms of regrets, I remember I spoke on this in a song, one of our freestyles. Other than personal stuff, like, it's just, I believe in your 2 main things. Your two things. I wanna spread this out to the community too, because I feel like more people need to hear this. And you may be thinking it, or you may have been pondering it, but you need to hear this from somebody. So let me be your source if this is the first time you're hearing this. I think there's 2 things you need to prioritize in your life, especially as a black man in this world, is you need to prioritize your freedom first and foremost, and you need to prioritize your peace of mind. Whoever disturbs that, whether it's friends, whether it's families, whether it's loved ones, whatever, you need to distance yourself away from them, because they don't mean you they don't mean you well. So peace of mind and your freedom, bro. Do not take those things for granted, because once they're gone, bro. So you don't want to be held down to that. You want to keep on to those things. Those things should be your 2 main things, and you need to be selfish about those things. Right. You don't need to be forgiving with those. So yeah.
Factual, man. Quick thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on like social media? You know, like, do you feel like it's kind of good, kind of bad, or?
Yeah, I had this conversation with my girl the other day. I think it's a double-edged sword, bro. Like, you need it, but it comes with its drawbacks. The fact is, when you open up the floodgates, it has made things a lot more accessible, but it has also made things a lot more saturated too. So cutting through the fluff is your new challenge now. And the thing is, again, that word sellout, I do think we need to bring it back into the culture, and we do need to use it as like a shaming tactic in a way. I hate to say it, but I think some people are doing fuckery to get attention, and it's a bad look for the whole scene in general, because people won't take you seriously when you're disturbing people's lives, when you're doing just stupidness, you know what I mean? And even this whole, we're attaching hip-hop to all these scandalous things now, and it's almost like you need to be in those scandalous things or doing this stupid. When mans come out to me and tell me, oh, I'm doing this for clout, like, you need to do these things for clout to make a move, and they have nothing to do with their music, I'm like, why are we here? Like, why are we doing this? You want people to pay attention to your music. Why are we out here why are we out here making porn? Why are we out here doing this? Like, come on, man. Like, use your head, you know? So I think we do need to bring that selling out factor back into it. But I do think if you use social media effectively, it can change your life.
And I'm not trying to sneak this doing all that, but like, why are you as like a 30-something, 47-something-year-old person, you know, doing like IG lives or TikTok lives and all that, and like you're expecting like these like people to pay you, and then you get upset that people in the music industry don't want to rock with you like that, like when you like expose like certain stuff and all that, and even
just like whatever to add on to what, I don't know if there's anything, I'm out of it, but like with it, I'm just to give you some reason. It's just, you need to think about your moves carefully, because there's going to be repercussions because of some of your moves. So if you're if you're in the exposing content, whatever, like you need to figure out a way to get your money. There's always a way to make money when it comes to social media. So you need to figure out a way to get your money outside of leaning on others. Because when you're exposing, you tend to make enemies, and those enemies spread very quickly. So you got to think about your moves and how you want your attention and how you're perceived. Because again, I want you guys to take notes on this too. How you get on is most times how you stay on, bro. Like, so you really need to think about that.
Yeah, that's facts. And I mean, like sometimes with social media too, like it could be a gift and curse as well too. And like, I feel like it does affect a lot of people's like mental health, like in a way too. Like when you see like Pop the Balloon, or when you see like these like men and women on these like, you know, relationship podcasts, like speaking about certain stuff too, and all that. And when you see like Instagram and all that too, like, you know, people on IG will only post the best parts. They're not going to post, you know, being depressed in a condo, eating like Campbell's like noodle soup and all that, you know. So
so like, let me tell you something about social media. Like, I want you guys to really approach social media with discernment, because a lot of the lifestyles you're seeing on social media, and I'm talking, when I say a lot, let me give you a percentage, like literally 98% of the lifestyles you see on social media aren't real. Like, they've done something in the background, whether it's something moral, whether it's something immoral, whether they're faking it, whether it's like they have daddy's money, mom's money, whatever. Like, there's always more to the story than you're thinking. So when you try and copy, and that's why we try and encourage people not to copy, come up with original ideas, because you're going to try and copy that one-to-one and find yourself in a bad spot because you're making crazy compromises that they didn't have to make. It's just the fact that they didn't tell you the full story. They just told you get like me, but they didn't say how they got like them. So you guys need to really like look into, and if you're following somebody, really be get into them and see if they're authentic with how they present themselves, because it could get you in a bad spot, bro.
Yeah, man, I can't really say like more on that and all that too. I think like you hit like the nail on the head right there too. Like, you know, like how I usually have like a playlist like on Spotify and all that too. I remember you commented like one day on like one of the posts too. It was like, I think on the Artist of the Month type thing, and like I remembered you recommended me like certain songs and all that too. And you know, if you want to like check out the playlist and all that too, or if you have like an idea of like what songs you want to add, like I usually ask like the guest like if there's like free songs you want to add like on like that playlist, or any like song rotation that you like listen to, what would you like recommend?
Well, in terms of specific songs, I can't tell you specific songs, but I can tell you artists, and then I can send you the songs I like by them afterwards. But there's this new artist I came across, Tajadeen. Bro, do not sleep on this guy. This guy is sub 1,000 followers, but I'm telling you, he's one of the most talented guys I've heard in the scene. He's a singer. His songwriting is amazing. Like the songs he showed me, the song we filmed together was amazing, but then the songs he showed me in the tuck, that he had in the tuck, if he had attention, I feel like those songs would go beyond 6 figures in terms of views, in terms of listens and all that stuff. So I think he really has a bright future as long as he can garner that attention. Also, do think this is one of the best, and I'm going to be bold with this statement. I do think this is one of the best artists in the scene right now. I think Fro Boy, you guys need to pay attention to him, because his numbers, they're gaining, like they're going up, but I'm saying in the background, everyone knows about him. I've heard nothing but good things about him. He resonates with everybody I talk to, including me. Like, his music's amazing, and he just has a natural talent for melodies and flows. And yeah, if I was to put you guys onto somebody, I'd start with Fro Boy and see how it goes from there. A third person too, I'd say, is TT. Again, TT has a knack for melodies as well. She's getting into, I don't know if the language has another name, but like the African French stuff she's getting into. So her authentic vibe she's getting into now. And I think it's only up from here. TT is an amazing artist. Even on the Ammaar Show, when I show people that aren't really privy to the Toronto scene the episodes, they always stop at TT's episodes and they're always be like, yo, who's this? She's amazing. You know what I mean? So those are the 3 artists just off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's sick, man. And for me too, like I'm gonna add like mine, like listens to my guy Rye 783 of like 143, and my other guy like Enterprise, like they just like dropped a song to like a Valentine's Day song. I'd add that there. LTL, like Stick and Move, like that just like recently dropped too. Like I'd definitely like add that on my end. And
I'm glad you said that, because I do feel like there's like tiers to this, if you get what I mean. Like there's I don't want to call them beginner artists because they may have been hustling, but in terms of numbers, there's like artists who look newer to the scene by numbers, and then there's artists who are already on. There's like a middle gap of artists who are right on the edge, willing to break. So I think you covered those artists who are right on the tip or whatever. Whereas the artists I was mentioning were like more the artists you don't really see in the news too much. So I'm glad you covered that as well, because I do think all those guys, especially the R&B group you said, the
One for free, but
yeah, they're
my
sick,
guy like
bro.
Rye like has been like doing the music solo and all that too.
Yeah.
And, like
Oh, he does it solo too. Okay,
Yeah,
sick. I gotta check him out, yo. Shout out to you, my guy.
yeah, and I think a third one, like if I have to like kind of like analyze it for a bit too, I think I'm just trying to figure out right now, but
Can I give you another one?
Yeah.
Well, actually, two more that I came across. So Miko dropped a song from LTL. So it's funny you brought up. He dropped a song. I think it's Shensia. Yo, check that one out. I love that song. I have that song on repeat. Yo, him and Cloudy, big up to you too, because that song is amazing. And then there's also another song. I'm not sure the name, but it's by Chrome Lord and Slimy, the SH. I'll send you that song too. Check that out, bro. They came to top 6 and just shut it down. So, yo, there's a lot of talent in the city you guys are missing out on in terms of label heads and all that. So much talent, bro. I don't even feel like I did it justice, but there's so much I'm not saying that I work with that are amazing. So I encourage you guys, go on my Instagram, go on my boys' Instagram, go on Rapstars. Yo, really do your digging, you know what I mean? And see what's out there, because there's a lot to discover.
Yeah, man. Couldn't agree more, you know. What's next for like Ammaar, by the way? And do you have any like closing remarks you'd like to say and all that?
So for me, in terms of the Ammaar Show, it's keeping consistent with that, seeing ways where I could expand globally as well. I want to keep the base of it in Toronto and keep it circled around Toronto, but there's other scenes I'd like to travel into. I think scenes that make sense for Toronto are like UK or Jamaica, because I feel like we have these ties to those scenes. So I'd love to make that connection, so artists from Toronto can go connect with people from Jamaica more often. Artists from Toronto can go connect with UK artists more often. I want to make that easier, and obviously as well as the US, because I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well. So,
all right,
yeah.
All right, man. Yo, Ammaar, so dope having you on, man.
Thank you, Broski. Thank you. I love talking to you, man. Hopefully we can do it again sometime, bro.
Sure, man. I mean, you brought like a lot of like great conversations for like a lot of things like going on and all that too, and like even like discussed your story very well, and like
Thank you, man.
definitely keep going, definitely like work hard to like the top and all that, and
I appreciate that, my guy.
you know, you can't like sleep too deep, but like you just have to like hustle at the top, you know. But either way, you know, but yeah, we'll definitely like have you back like either way too, and wishing nothing but the best too. Yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with the Ammaar O.D and all that too. Like I know we of the Ammaar Show and all that, but yeah, definitely check out like all of his stuff too on all platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, on Toronto Rapstars, on Toronto Top 6 and all that.
Thank you.
A lot of his videos are going to be on there too, so definitely like check that out. Definitely check out this like podcast on all streaming platforms too. I've already stated like at the beginning and all that, and yo, we're just gonna sign off right here. I actually had the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey for this moment too, so
Hey, go Leafs. You know what
either
it
way,
is.
no.
Let's
Signing off, you know.
peace out.